Welcome to Mainland, your local regional television station. I'm Graham O'Brien, and some of the stories coming up in our first news bulletin for 2016. Nelson's Council look at special housing areas, winch proves to be a lifesaver, cheaper fuel for Motueka, and more. Motueka is set to have a third petrol station sited on its main street, which we understand work is set to commence on the site this week. Nelson Company NPD are looking to have the new self-help pump station in operation in late February or early March, depending on consents. Prices are expected to be lower than the existing two stations, Caltex and Z, whose prices average 2 cents higher per litre than those of their counterparts within the Nelson region. Mainland has been told that prices per litre could be up to 12 cents lower than their manned opposition stations. Good news for some Tasman gardens, as rain over the weekend has left river flows replenished and improved soil moisture levels in Tasman, allowing a reduction in water rationing measures. Dry Weather Task Force convener Dennis Bush-King has said that current water restrictions will be lifted for all zones with immediate effect, except permit holders in the reservoir Waimea West, Upper Confined, Lower Confined, Hope, Delta and the Upper Catchment, and Golden Hill zones on the Waimea Plains. The named zones will revert to Stage 1 restrictions, meaning a 20% cut. Restrictions remain in force for urban water users in Richmond, Mapua, Ruby Bay, Hope, Brightwater and Wakefield and their rural extensions. Some rain is forecast for later this week, and Mr Bush-King said the situation will be kept under review. And in Nelson, for the reopening of the Trafalgar Centre to happen will mean restricted pedestrian and vehicle access along Parapara Road and around the Trafalgar Centre from Monday this week for approximately 3 months. The Trafalgar Centre reopening and Rutherford Park development projects, Council have announced that the worksite containment fence around the centre has to be expanded. The containment fence will be from the edge of the Maitai walkway with no vehicle access beyond the old Community Artworks building. The footbridge across Saltwater Creek between the Trafalgar Centre and Haven Road will remain closed in the immediate future. The footbridge at the northern end of the Maitai walkway to Queen Elizabeth Drive will remain open. Later in January, access to the old tennis court area will also be restricted as the Rutherford Park development work continues. Nelson City Council has identified 10 sites as potential special housing areas to be recommended to the Minister of Building and Housing by the end of the year. Nelson Mayor Rachel Reese has said that encouraging greater housing supply is a priority for Council. Nelson is a city where people want to live, and the demand for housing is clearly there. These special housing areas offer a collaborative approach between Council, the government and the developers, and this is an important step in increasing supply and creating greater housing choice here in Nelson. The Housing Accord and Special Housing Areas Act is to be repealed in 2016, so there is a small window of opportunity for areas or sites to be identified as special housing areas. The next step is for Council to recommend the potential special housing areas to the Minister of Building and Housing, Nick Smith, by the end of this month. More information on the Housing Accord or special housing areas is available on the Council website. This Christmas holiday period has been a busy time for emergency services around the region, with multiple large fires and car accidents, including the first fatality for the 2016 year, taking place in Tasman. Senior Sergeant Blair Hall said it appeared that speed was a factor in the fatal crash that occurred soon after 2 AM on New Year's morning near the bridge that crosses the Motueka River. Police say 2 others in the van were taken to hospital with moderate to serious injuries. This was followed soon after by a second accident on Waimea Road opposite Nelson College for Boys, where a family of tourists travelling in their rental car drifted left and collided with a parked car. A Stoke man was flown to hospital after receiving serious burns following an explosion in a sleepout at a Tennyson Crescent address in Stoke. Police are still investigating the cause of the explosion. An Auckland couple that became stranded on Farewell Spit had to be rescued after deciding to walk to the end of the spit over the holiday. After discovering that their way back was blocked by the quickly approaching tide, they called 111. The Collingwood Volunteer Fire Department and Farewell Spit Eco Tours had to use a specially designed vehicle to collect the stranded couple. The Nelson Fire Brigade had a busy day at the start of January when they were called to multiple emergencies, including a large fire at the Amaio men's shed. The sheds were engulfed in smoke and fire by the time the fire service arrived and could get the blaze under control. Thousands of dollars worth of tools and machinery was destroyed, but there were no injuries as a result of the fire. On the same day, Richmond fire crews were called to a motor vehicle accident where a car collided with a power transformer, causing multiple large explosions and fire on Waverley Street. Power was out to over 1,100 homes as a result. Power was restored by midnight. Ambulance crews treated the occupants of the car at the scene and said that while they were quite shaken up, there were no injuries. Police executed a drug warrant in a methamphetamine operation on a Tahunanui motel at the beginning of January. During the raid, a 10-year-old child was found in the motel unit. A 29-year-old woman was arrested and has been charged with drug offences, and the 10-year-old was put into care of Child, Youth and Family. More recently, members of the public pitched in to help firefighters drag hoses up a steep slope to a scrub fire in Nelson last Thursday, the 8th of January. The fire service said the fast-moving fire occurred in the area of 40 square metres on the hill above St Vincent Street. It took 8 firefighters under half an hour to put the fire out. It was a busy Christmas holiday weekend in the lead up to New Year's for the Nelson Marlborough Rescue Helicopter, who flew 8 missions, with their new winch proving its worth. In one of 5 calls on the last Saturday in December, an elderly Nelson woman had to be winched out of the Lee Valley riverbed after falling and badly injuring her leg, and once stabilised by the on-board paramedic, had to be winched out of the riverbed and was flown in a serious condition to Nelson Hospital for further care. The following Sunday saw another 3 missions flown, with the winch again put into action at Lochmarama Bay in the Marlborough Sounds, where a 30-year-old Auckland man suffered a severe allergic reaction and required medical treatment. The on-board intensive care paramedic had to be hover-loaded into the scene, where he provided initial treatment before both medic and patient were winched back on board the helicopter and the patient flown to Wairau Hospital for further treatment. After the break, we'll bring you the latest update and some events and happenings coming up from around the region.
Are you looking for a scooter, walker, wheelchair, baby seats or pushchairs? Then come in and see the Nelson Region Specialist at Mobility for You, 269 Queen Street, Richmond, opposite the library. We have a huge selection of scooters, walkers, wheelchairs and accessories, along with a free booklet guide. We also provide a breakdown service if you ever get a puncture or a flat battery. We have fully equipped service vans to rescue you. Hi, I'm Robin Jordan and I invite you to call in and see the friendly team at Mobility for You, 269 Queen Street, Richmond, opposite the library.
Welcome me hearties to Smuggler's Pub and Cafe, famous for hearty meals, craft ales and a friendly service way. Sensational seasonal menus with meals all day and evening too, or sail in for a snack with special menus for young smugglers and you. Settle in for a jolly old time, relax and enjoy our award-winning dining and lovely fine wine. Decked out in an old worldly way, we're open 7 days. Book or come on in to 8 Muritai Street, not far from a beach, walk or swim. Phone 546408.
We're the team at JCar, right here in Nelson, 120 Hardy Street. Our shop is full of electronic items,
including security alarm systems, electronic components,
solar and power,
electronics toys,
sound systems, cables and much, much more. JCar.
120 Hardy Street, Nelson.
Why would you want to pay as much as $1,000 for a single bed mattress when you can buy a high quality locally made mattress like this for as little as $220? And a queen size mattress could cost you in excess of $3,000, but at Nelson Beds you could have a mattress like this as low as $425. So why would you go out and spend a fortune on your child's bedroom when you can come to Nelson Beds and buy a complete single mattress and base set, a 7-drawer Scotch chest, a headboard and a 3-drawer bedside cabinet for as little as $979? So call and discuss our custom manufacturing options and local after sales service at Nelson Beds, Nelson's only bedding manufacturer.
Nelson Park's program has a free community event scavenger hunt for the kids this Tuesday the 12th. Meet at Branford Park and follow the clues. It's from 12 p.m. till 2 p.m. Also on Tuesday the 12th, for those not so young, a program called Vitality is being held at Broad Green House from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m, specially designed to assist in increased stability, respiratory function, pelvic and back mobility. The experience will be gradual and guided and is a great way to become or continue being active. It's set in one of Nelson's most beautiful parks.
Victory 60 Plus is on Tuesdays at 1:30 through to 3:30 p.m. at 238 Upper Vanguard Street. You can join in for cards, games and a cuppa.
On behalf of the team here at Mainland Television News, thank you for joining us.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.